Hi everybody, welcome back to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and this is a show where I'll be recapping all of the latest news from PhoneDog, from the mobile technology space, all the way from last week, a little bit from this weekend and today. So let's get started. So you know what I was thinking the other day? It has been a while since we saw some leaked iPhone pictures. I mean, it's like we don't ever get enough of them. How are we supposed to know what a phone looks like before it's announced? Well, leaks. That's how we know. And we finally got some more leaked pictures of the next iPhone. These are actually engineering samples, so it's not the iPhone, but it's more like a mold of what it could look like. And from the pictures we can tell that it's basically going to look like what we thought it was going to look like. It'll have a metal back with two sections on the top and the bottom that may be glass. That's what we've been hearing before. But it looks overall pretty much the same as the iPhone 4S, except from this engineering sample, we can tell that it probably will have a larger display, which again, we had already heard before. Now, along with these pictures of the engineering sample of the iPhone, we also got some pictures of what could be a reference mold for the iPad mini, which we've been hearing a lot about. And so here's another rumor to throw in there. This is a sample mold, so it's not exactly what the iPad is going to look like. It's basically just the size for manufacturers of accessories for mobile devices. But we can see that it's obviously a lot smaller than the current iPad. Now, in the past, when we heard about the iPad mini, we didn't really get any specific measurements. Even with this sample mold, it doesn't really tell us a whole lot about the size, but a new report from the New York Times says that the iPad mini will have a display that measures 7.85 inches, which is pretty precise, and it goes along with what we heard before, that it would be between 7 and 8 inches, 7.85 inches. And their sources also say that it would cost considerably less than $499, which is the base price for the current iPad. So it's smaller, it's more cost effective. Things are kind of starting to shape up, but I don't know, what do you think? Do you think we'll see a smaller iPad? I've always kind of held the opinion that we're not going to see one, but we keep seeing all these rumors and these pictures, so let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are you expecting to see an iPad mini? We're hearing that it could be announced in October, so let me know what you think about that in the comments. And next up on the regurgitated news line, we are again hearing that Amazon could be making a smartphone, which, yes, you probably have heard in the past. But this report comes from the Wall Street Journal, and they're hearing that, from their sources, they're hearing that Amazon is prepping a smartphone. We have really no details at all, except for that the display is going to be at least 4 inches in size, which is really not surprising at all, considering that pretty much every single phone today has a display that's at least 4 inches in size. But at least there's that little rumor. Now, the question is, what would this smartphone be like? Would it be like the Kindle Fire, where it's strictly Amazon services, or would it be like just another Android smartphone? We're not really sure, but in last week's episode of PhoneDog Live, the podcast, I discussed this and I shared my thoughts on what I think we can expect from an Amazon smartphone. So check out that episode to see what I think about that. Now, in last week's episode of the Dog Pound, and pretty much every week before that actually, we've been talking about Apple's lawsuits against pretty much everyone, Samsung, HTC, but most recently it's been Samsung. And now we're hearing that Samsung is sending out an update to its phones that could be fixing one of these problems that kept coming up in these patent lawsuits. You remember last week, whenever we talked about this lawsuit, it has something to do with universal search, kind of like Siri, and also like the Google search bar on every Android phone. And so now Samsung is sending out an update to its devices, to its Galaxy S3 devices, that removes this feature. The Google search bar is still there, but it doesn't search the entire phone and the internet. It only searches the internet. Samsung said that they have issued this update as a precautionary measure to ensure that their products can be sold without any interruption, assuming because of these lawsuits. So if your Galaxy S3 doesn't have that update, we're assuming that it should be getting it pretty soon, so keep your eyes open for that. So here's some news for all you Sprint customers. Sprint has some pretty awesome LTE devices, most notably the HTC Evo 4G LTE, which is a really long name, but it's a really awesome phone. The problem was that Sprint didn't actually have an LTE network, so you had this awesome 4G phone, but you were only being able to use 3G data speeds. Well, now Sprint has finally started rolling out its LTE network. It is currently available in 15 markets. These markets include Atlanta, Dallas, and Fort Worth, Texas, Houston, San Antonio, Waco, and St. Joseph, Missouri. Now, in addition to these markets, Sprint says that it plans to roll out LTE to more markets in the second half of 2012, and it plans to have its complete rollout of LTE done by 2013, which is next year. So, you Sprint customers, you have a lot to look forward to in the next year or so. Now, to wrap up the show, here's some little tidbit news that you may want to know about. Not that we needed any more confirmation, but we now have official confirmation that the Samsung Galaxy Note is in fact coming to T-Mobile. We still don't have a release date or a price, but at least this is straight from T-Mobile. The Galaxy Note will be hitting the carrier. You Verizon customers, if you were disappointed to hear that the Verizon version of the Galaxy S3 will have a locked bootloader, you'll be happy to know that the developer edition of the Galaxy S3 is coming soon, according to Verizon. This version will have a user unlockable bootloader, so you can do whatever you want to the phone. It will cost $599, which is kind of pricey, but there it is. It's a great phone, and you'll be able to hack it and do all kinds of stuff to it. We don't have an official release date yet. We just know it's coming soon. So we'll keep you updated on Phone Dog whenever we do have a release date for that. So that is it for this week's episode of the Dog Pound. Thank you guys for watching. Leave all of your comments about everything I talked about, and I read them. And it's just a nice way to have like a conversation, because I really don't have anybody to talk to, so I like your comments. But anyway, I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.